Hello, and welcome to the Legal Growth Podcast, where we dive into the strategies, challenges, and success stories shaping the future of law firms. I'm your host, Aaron Fulk, and together with Legal Growth Partners, we'll bring you in depth conversations with top legal professionals, industry innovators, and firm leaders. Our goal is simple: to share practical insights, innovative strategies, and real world advice to help your law firm scale, adapt, and thrive. Whether you're navigating growth challenges or looking to boost your business development, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. This week, our guest is Trey. Trey, say your last name for me so I make sure I get it right.
Sure, Trey Cammack.
Cammack. Okay. Do people get it wrong often?
Oh, yeah. But, I know who they're talking to, so that's fine.
You're like, just as long as you call. Okay, Trey. So just give us a quick overview of how you chose law and your specialty.
Yeah, sure. Over the years, I've been drawn to the law. My dad always growing up said I'd argue so much. I'd argue with a tree. I might as well put it to good use. But when I was in high school, I remember reading the story of Atticus Finch. I know we all had to read To Kill a Mockingbird in high school. I really connected with that storyline. And as I was in college, I took some philosophy of the law classes. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed the opportunity to go to school, use that practice. And I'm a labor and employment attorney and do personal injury, but I'm board certified in labor and employment. Honestly, I'd never saw myself doing employment law. A job opened up down the street from the apartment I was at. I could pretty much walk to it. Started doing employment law and fell in love with it. I fell in love with all different aspects of employment law, whether it be helping people who've been recently fired for things that were not their fault, or for discrimination or harassment, or reporting the same, or just the chess match and some of the intersection of the federal and state statutes.
Amazing. And it's been a couple crazy years in employment law, right? So you got to stay busy, probably.
Yeah, it's a very interesting area just because there's a pendulum swing. Anytime there's a change of leadership, whether it be Republican or Democrat, there's the federal agencies that govern employment law there's kind of a clean sweep with new appointments. So that they just kind of back and forth with administrations kind of undoing what the last administration did. So that does end up being very, very interesting, because then there's also appointment of judges as well by those presidents, or, during campaigns, where we kind of have to anticipate, how is this going to shift this way or that way? Are there going to be new updates on whether it be from a federal level, overtime claims, how they handle discrimination claims? So it does keep me on my toes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it is a pendulum swing. That's a good way to put it. Awesome. Okay, so what's been your biggest growth success story so far?
I think like anybody does. I think sometimes we compete against others, but we should probably compete against ourselves. When I was doing employment law, I started doing a lot of personal injury and ended up kind of working into an area where I was doing almost exclusively personal injury. That allowed me to get a lot more trial experience. In employment law, you do a lot of arbitrations, because in the employment handbooks, they'll have agreements that say you can't go to a jury trial, but we can arbitrate this privately. So the opportunity to try cases was great at a personal injury firm. And then also I feel like being able to do some defense work doing employment was an eye-opener for me, kind of how it works on the other side and other things like that.
So what has been your number one non-legal skill that has surprisingly really helped you as you've grown your career?
I think it's cooking. I think cooking is one of my favorite things to do. I think cooking, you connect with people in the legal realm in the same way maybe you might connect with cooking. There's also a science and an art to it. There's different ways to do it, but it's a process that if you cut any corners, you're gonna see it on the plate. So I love to make barbecue, brisket, Cajun food, but I think that through that process, you have to do it right. You have to stick through it. And so sometimes it's, if you're doing a 10-hour brisket or 16-hour brisket, that may be more pain than a lot of people want to do just to eat some good food. I think with legal cases, people see the billboard lawyers, or they see these success stories, and they don't think about how much time it's going to take to get there. You may not necessarily get a wrongful death case when you start doing practice, or you may not get the class action overtime claims when you start doing them. But if you build a reputation and work at it, and you realize there's an art and a science to doing it, you can build a reputation and do it right.
What's your number one dish that people would say is the best thing you cook?
Either the gumbo or the brisket.
Oh, good gumbo. And you're far south. I bet it is good.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy making it.
Okay, so looking ahead, what trends or changes do you see shaping the future of law firms, and how are you positioning yourself to stay ahead of that?
I think everybody's talking about it. I think AI, right? I think there's everybody's scared of it. I think there's a lot we don't know, and maybe everywhere. I don't want to mean everyone is, but there's a lot of fear that it will replace paralegals, medical clerks, attorneys potentially. But I think that firms that learn how to integrate it into their practice, whether it's their case management systems, whether it's how they do research, as long as they verify the research they get, but learning how to use it as a added tool. I mean, we already are all glued. We're almost like cyborgs with our phones. We already use those as the supercomputer in our phone, and that has completely changed how everyone operates, communicates, and does a lot of things. I think AI is just another kind of revolutionary step, just like the internet was. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot to be scared of about how business is done. But as long as we think about it in the way that, well, yellow pages used to be the thing and now it's not, maybe AI will be one of those things that's so much of a game shifter about whether how people search for things maybe through AI as opposed to on Google, or how you use it to be able to structure formats of documents or use it otherwise. I think that's important. And I think people should also keep their eyes on what their legislatures are doing in every state. There's so much where we're talking about political stuff that we don't talk about what our legislatures, the bills they're trying to pass. Texas recently tried to have a bill passed that did not pass this year. It did not pass 2023, but may pass in 2027, 2029, that would greatly limit people's ability to recover certain type of damage models. And it kind of silently did it outside of the legal realm. I didn't see any real news articles talking about it. So if people pay attention to that, lawyers pay attention to that, because there's certain types of practices that kind of go by the wayside if certain type of legislation gets passed. For instance, Texas used to be a lot of medical malpractice, a lot of workers' comp, and there aren't a lot of people that do that anymore after certain legislation was passed.
People need to, in general, pay more attention to their local elections, right?
Sure.
So put all the emphasis on those big ones on the national, but those local elections are the big changers right there. So I love that. I love that reminder. Well, thank you so much, Trey, for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you for your time. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us on the Legal Growth Podcast presented by Legal Growth Partners. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, drop us a review, and share it with your colleagues, because great insights are even better when shared. For more tips and tools to help grow your practice, visit legalgrowthpartners.com. Until next time, keep innovating, keep growing, and keep smiling. We'll see you next time.